When we think about Nickelodeon shows or cartoons, almost all of the attention goes to SpongeBob. However, it's easy to forget that another Nickelodeon show, just like 3 years after SpongeBob's released, was also released after SpongeBob, and it was a popular Nickelodeon show. In fact, in some sources, in top 5 Nickelodeon shows, it ranks at, I guess, number 5 or number 4. Despite the fact the show being one of the most beloved shows on the network Nickelodeon, it was cancelled prematurely due to several reasons, and we're going to cover it in this video. Many people at the time believed that this Nickelodeon show would be the second SpongeBob, one of the longest running shows. It only lasted for 2 seasons. Why is it? Why didn't the show last longer? Why did it end prematurely? There was actually a quote from the Invader Zim producer. I think this show would be a great masterpiece. Now I made that one up, but I want you to examine how the cast of Invader Zim thought that the show would be a good piece for Nickelodeon. So, even though Invader Zim was one of the most relatable shows and probably one of the most highly performed good shows, best shows in fact, despite its cancellation, it still remains a huge nostalgia, has a huge nostalgia for various fans. I think this is one of the shows that has high ratings, unlike Danny Phantom and My Life is a Teenage Robot that I covered earlier in my former videos. So, the question of the video is why? Why did Invader Zim end? Why couldn't the show last longer? Why did it end so soon? After all, it had only a total of 26 or 27 episodes, unlike My Life as a Teenage Robot that had 40 plus episodes, and Danny Phantom that I think I had 56 episodes. That's like more than a half short as My Life as a Teenage Robot, far less than Danny Phantom. After all, it took nearly 4 years from December of 2002 to August of 2006 for the second season of Invader Zim to run. That's just a huge portrayal and a huge depiction that the show will end very soon. If a show takes too long to run a particular season, that's just a prediction that the show will eventually end prematurely. So before we go to why Invader Zim was cancelled, we first need to understand the plot line, the entire story, just the normal basic plot of Invader Zim. I think the first season had 20 episodes and the second season only had a total of 7 or 8 episodes. If I'm mistaken, correct me in the comment section. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room with. Invader Zim's plotline follows like this. Invader Zim, the alien, who is cast from his dimension, who comes to Earth, he was sent on an errand by his missionaries, by his fathers, to conquer the world. However, his own robot named Gir is a teenage robot who assists Invader Zim on doing his work of conquering the world. However, his plan wasn't to be succeeded. There is actually a boy, his arch nemesis, named Deep. Deep is a little boy who tries to stop Invader Zim from doing his evil plans to conquer. Then there's Deep's younger sister, Gaz. Gaz is just a young purple-headed girl. Now you have understand the plotline of Invader Zim. Let's answer the question, why did events Invader Zim get cancelled? Why? Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. So, there are several reasons why Invader Zim got cancelled. And the first reason that I'm going to point out here is that actually Invader Zim was actually extremely costly to produce. It was astronomically higher than other shows, Nickelodeon shows like SpongeBob or My Life as a Teenage Robot at the time. It was actually the only show at the time that was being performed in 3D. Other shows were in 2D, but Invader Zim was in 3D. As you can imagine, the production cost will be extremely more higher. So, actually, one of the creators of the Invader Zim actually acknowledged that. Watch this clip.
Right, our show was the most expensive show that Nickelodeon had ever done. If I told you the price, it would be ridiculous. I'm not even remembering, but it was astronomical compared to the things we had done on other shows like Angry Beavers and stuff.
As you could imagine, the production costs were astronomically higher. Even the producers even acknowledged it, that it was extremely high. So, that goes to my second reason why Invader Zim got cancelled. Is that maybe the entire concept of Invader Zim is not maybe suitable to the Nickelodeon audience. Cartoons like SpongeBob, if you watch SpongeBob in your perspective, you would think SpongeBob will be meant for children at least from the age bracket of 4 to 11 years old.
This time, you can pick on me, but Squidward is a great leader. We are workers united. We're tired of your smelly greed, and we're gonna saw your tables, and we're gonna smash stuff with the people. Squidward, what was that other part?
Dismantle your oppressive establishment?
Ah, that too!
By watching that clip, you assume that that SpongeBob scene that I just showed will be for kids. So, unlike Invader Zim, the producers actually wanted the show to have a more edgier content and more dark. I will indeed emphasize more on this, because there have been some cases where Invader Zim have actually lured children or actually convinced children into murdering. Filled out murder. Now, I will talk about that later, but in one episode in Invader Zim, something weird happened. Now, that goes to my third reading. Poor ratings. Throughout Invader Zim, even though Invader Zim only lasted for 2 seasons, one and only 27 episodes throughout the show, the original show, it didn't abide with Nickelodeon's standard of ratings. Usually, if Nickelodeon is not satisfied with the show, they will try every possible best to get the show cancelled at all costs. That's the same thing that happened with Invader Zim, with poor ratings. In my opinion, I think those are the main reasons why Invader Zim got cancelled and why the show ran for a very short period of time, for just about minimum of 2 years. But I will tell you guys or explain to you guys, there have been cases of Invader Zim. I think that will prove to be a final chapter for the Invader Zim. Even though Invader Zim did launch a Netflix original movie called Enter the Florpus in October of 2019, a 1-hour film. Nearly more than 10 years after Invader Zim, the original Invader Zim show ended. However, the Invader Zim still beloved by fans today. I feel like if a particular cartoon ends, the cartoon soul will still remain in contact. Like, if a particular cartoon ends, the fans will still remember it. Just like a cartoon like Danny Phantom that ran for 3 seasons before it ended. The cartoon is still being remembered today, even though the show ended for like more than 10 years ago. The feeling of fans for the cartoon to come back is still on them. The spirit, the cartoon they watched, childhood. Nobody can ruin your childhood. Childhood is a natural part of life that everyone must encounter in his or her life. Now, Invader Zim. What can I say? Invader Zim sometimes can have some edgy content. Just like one of the points I followed, Nickelodeon was kind of thought the show was kind of creepy and edgy like. Not suitable for the Nickelodeon audience at the time, like SpongeBob. That was more suited for younger audience. And yeah, Invader Zim. One last note I want to make about Invader Zim is that Invader Zim, there have actually been a case where maybe past the limit that Nickelodeon finally guaranteed the show's cancellation permanently. In one episode of Invader Zim, titled The Dark Harvest, Invader Zim eats children's organs, eating them raw.
Look at you! You've gone too far! You're a hideous blob of stolen organs! I've been working out. You think you can fool a trained medical professional? Yes. I suppose you've got a...
As you could imagine, the Invader Zim was eating people's organs in that episode. Now, that may not have guaranteed the show's cancellation, but the thing that it aided that it actually made a young boy was watching TV and eventually murdered a lady in his house. I don't want to tell you the exact story, but it was viral, incredibly viral. And so eventually the young boy was arrested and put in jail. I guess life imprisonment. So basically, people are saying Invader Zim is the one that caused the death of that lady and make the boy, because the boy is actually a huge fan of Invader Zim and actually watched that episode that made him kill the lady. So I guess that cemented Invader Zim's cancellation totally, resulting in the murder of a young lady. So sad. So those are the main reasons why Invader Zim got cancelled, and Nickelodeon unfortunately cancelled it in 2006, 2005. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace. Astonishing story.